What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Griever back here, bringing you guys the latest behind-the-bar reviews for One Piece. One Piece chapter 967. Let's get underway, because I need to calm down after that 7 Deadly Sins review. I need to calm down. I'm recording this just directly after, and if you guys are fans of both, you know what I just went through. So, let's just talk some One Piece. Now, there'll be a lot of other YouTubers much more popular than I, with the oversaturation of One Piece content on YouTube, that will talk to you about all the different details, all the wonderful nods and nostalgia trips and stuff that we go through here. What I'm going to talk to you about is bare bones. Very simple, very awesome. Translation error 1. When I first read this chapter, we were into the first, couple of pages, and we got the fact that, Roger and his crew and Odin were still following them, so we're still into the Roger territory here. And they basically show up on an Arctic island, all that fun jazz, and they talk about the fact that there are red poneglyphs, road poneglyphs, that kind of stuff. And he's talking to both Nekomamushi, Inarashi, and Odin. And he says, "What? You guys have stones like that in your countries? Well, what color are they?" They're all like red. And he's like, "Why did we waste time? That's 2 out of 4, you idiots," right? Because there's one on Zou, and there's currently one in the hands of Kaido, but not at the time. This is where Roger says something key. Here's where the translation error shows up. And we're on into page 1, where first translation said, and this is accurate in both, he already got a rubbing of the poneglyph owned by Big Mom back when Big Mom was right? And here's where it happens. One translation said, Whitebeard was gracious enough to gift me with the other. The latest translation I read said, I have a feeling where the other one is. I'm going to go off on a limb and say that the second translation is the accurate one, the one we'll get in the Viz later on. I couldn't wait for this one, guys, because I don't know my schedule for the coming weeks. So I will be using the Viz translations from probably next week or the week after, from then on. But for this week, I just wanted to make sure to get this out. And I'm not really sure. I could see Oda doing either. That's the thing. I could see Oda dropping that nugget like, yeah, Whitebeard knew where it was. Whitebeard had it. I can see that. Because that would lead a lot into the Weevil story and the current storyline and stuff. Maybe they have it for some weird reason. Marco might know the location. Something to be said for that. That's why I like that. That's why I really like that that translation error, because that begs the question. And it bodes said question. Which one's right? And if so, where is it? Because apparently it's lost. We don't know. We still don't know. But either way, we move on from that. We see that Roger ends up back at Water 7, where Tom is still building his train. Actually, here's where Odin invites Frank. So Frankie, I don't remember him ever talking about it. I might have missed it, but Frankie met Roger, Rayleigh, all of them. He met the Roger pirates. He met Kazuki Odin. Because he goes, Tom, how you been? He met Shanks. Shanks and Buggy are like, hey, Tom, what's going on, man? We missed you. And Tom's like, how's the Jackson treating you, And, the Oro Jackson, how's it treating you? And he's like, is that train ready? I can't wait to sail it all across the Grand Line. And we see that both Iceberg and Frankie and all of them, they all met. They all met Roger and the crew. So that's really interesting. We see that pretty much after this thing that Odin actually invites Frankie to be, you're an orphan boy, you want to be the carpenter on our crew sort of idea? Come on aboard. You want to show up? And Frankie's like, no, you'll abandon me and stuff. But Frankie had the opportunity to actually go on the Oro Jackson, to go on the voyage to Laugh-Tale. That's, you know what? Frankie knows how to build Pluton. Just saying. Frankie had the plans. He memorized them. He knows how to do it. I wouldn't be surprised if he incorporated some of that into the Thousand Sunny. Wouldn't be. Because too many, like, something about that connection just makes me believe that. I know it's got no basis. Like, okay, so he met Odin and he could have been the carpenter. What's the big deal? He either knows where the Oro Jackson is. He knows something. He knows Frankie is connected. Frankie knows something. That's all I'm saying. And here's where the other part of the chapter comes into play, where then we jump over, they're going to Fishman Island. And when they show up there, we see the same effect that Luffy had before. And we see this again, too. Odin and Roger, of course, hearing the voice of all things. They're similar to Luffy, where they can't fully understand. They can't fully get into place about what is it exactly they're hearing, what is exactly going on. The Sea Kings take notice in Fishman Island and stuff like that, but Odin and Roger, Rayleigh clearly does not have the voice of all things. Even as strong as he is, as conqueror hockeyed up as he is, he does not possess the voice of all things. Because we clearly see, though, that Odin and once again Roger do. So that's key. That's something's going to go down there. They show up. We get Neptune, being just a soldier at the time. We hear about the prophecies that he's going to marry. Her name begins with O. I'm bad at Otome. The wife. That is going to birth Shirahoshi and stuff like that, and who's fighting for rights that fishmen and humans, they're equal and stuff like that. And right now he's not even married. He's not courting or anything like that. Roger is said to bring disaster soon. All this stuff, and they're just talking about. They go through. Basically their journey is to find all the poneglyphs. So basically, what we're seeing in this chapter is every single one that basically Luffy and the gang have found. They're finding them all. All the ones in the New World, they're finding them. They found the one on Skypiea. They know about Zoe and the one on Wano. They also found the one on, they found the one on Skypiea. They found the one in Fishman Island, stuff like that. So they keep going through and basically going along the same path. And they're finding all these ones. Of course, they're not interested, and that's what Rayleigh has to tell. They're talking about, when will Shirahoshi be born? 10 years from now. Okay, 10 years from now. That's too late for me, sort of idea, and Roger knows it. Rayleigh tries to calm Neptune down and basically say, we're not interested in the weapons themselves. We're more interested in the knowledge of the weapons, more than anything. We have no desire for the weapons. So, this chapter brings up so much information. I wish I could cover it all. I wish I had 45 minutes to explain this all to you guys and go through this in the live reaction, read every piece of dialogue, go through the wiki and do all that. Maybe I should start doing that for One Piece, especially because One Piece is so lore heavy in the current the mini arc inside of Wano. But either way, let's move on to the rest of the chapter because there's still some more to cover. Now we see Roger and the crew and the band, whatever. They travel across many a sea. And they end up on Zoe, as I said before. They meet up with the current king there. I can't even begin to announce that. It begins with an H, something like that. And they read that. Odin and Roger, once again, they hear, of course, Zunisha. They're hearing Zunisha and that something's off. That kind of idea, same as they heard on Fishman Island while going down there, hearing about that. They did at Fishman Island, they did read the one by Joy Boy and stuff like that, the apology from Joy Boy. Once again, don't know who that is, but Roger seemed to be okay. And we'll see some other connection at the end. So there's another poneglyph, in my opinion. There's another message or poneglyph by Joy Boy on Laughtail because Roger references this at the end of this chapter. And I think this is where we're ending. I think this is exactly where we are ending the flashback arc. We will be jumping over back to Wano in the new year. That's what I believe. I think Oda planned it this way. I can firmly believe that because, man, it almost brings a tear to your eye, doesn't it? We're on the home stretch. We've been getting all this information, and we see, okay, so Toki, we see that Shanks did make it. I've been saying, a lot of people have been saying, Shanks knows how to get to Laugh Tale. He chooses not to become the Pirate King, just like Whitebeard, just like Rayleigh, just like Scarpa Gabon, who wherever he is right now. They are choosing not to go to Laugh Tale. They're choosing not to take on the mantle of Pirate King. Whether out of respect or not, I could have seen if someone had told me that Buggy, out of respect for his captain, that was the one treasure he chose not to get. He'll become a Yonko, he'll become a Shishibukai, he'll become anything. An admiral, he'll do whatever he wants. But the title of Pirate King belonged to his captain, and he will not dishonor the name of Goldie Roger. I could buy that from Buggy. Maybe not Chapter 2 Buggy, but I could buy that from Buggy. I really could. If Oda wanted to spin it that way, I could see that, right? Because, I mean, the Stampede movie, he recognized it. He knows how to get there. Because he recognized, this is how you get to Laugh Tale. So he recognized that in the Stampede. Now, you can argue the Stampede movie canon or not canon, but you can argue that. But I believe that's a Buggy true reaction. Buggy knows how to get to Laugh Tale, and if he really wanted to, he could just ask Shanks how. He knows better. Either he knows there's no actual gold treasure there. There might be, but there's something about Buggy there, because Buggy comes down with that I'll die if I go to this island disease. It sounds like a made-up thing, but Buggy really wants to go, and Crocus is like, no way in the background. So I believe it's something. I don't think it's made up. I mean, it sounds funny for gags, but he really did come down with something, and he couldn't go for some reason. Maybe it's relevant, maybe it's not. Shanks, of course, says one day we'll come back here with our own ship sort of idea. So Shanks did promise Buggy we'll come back. So there is that idea. As I said, Toki, Inarashi, Nekomamushi, they get dropped off at Zou, and they stay there. So that explains their end of their pirate adventures there, after they get the rubbing of the rope poneglyph there. And then they go to, or before that, they go to Wano. They go back to Wano. Kinemon and all the rest of the scabbards, they're waiting. They're like, Oden Kazumi, we're waiting for you. He's dropping off Momonosuke, Hiyori, and Toki. Toki the one saying, no, Oden, you cannot, because Crocus was like, listen, she got to get on land. She can't come with us anymore. She's got to go. Oden's kind of like, yeah, I'd probably better go. And Toki's like, no, Oden will not stop his adventure. The greatest adventure of all time. He will not stop this for me. I will get off. I will take my children. We will get off, but Oden will stay. He'll be back. It's fine, And everyone's like, okay. So Oden, knowing that Wano has changed, knowing it's different, and he knows there's something wrong, but he chooses that, you know what, my wife is right, everybody's right, Roger might need my help, I've got to see this through. Stays. He decides to stay for the journey, and he refuses to look behind him. He won't even look at the land, because he said it himself in his journal, if I turn around, I won't be able to leave. So, and as he says, 4 years from now when I come home. I got to question that one though. He says, 4 years from now when I make my return back home. But Roger only has a year to live when he meets Oden. So how is it 4 years later when he returns home? Or at the end of the journey, does he not go straight back to Wano for 3 years? Like, something's not adding up in a timeline thing. Maybe I'm confused. Maybe you guys could explain to me down in the comment section down below. But when Oden first met Roger, Crocus diagnosed him with 1 year to live. Then he says, 4 years later when I return to Wano. And we saw in a flashback before that when he was like, I gotta finally return back to Wano, Roger Pirates. I'm gonna go back, I thought he was on Roger's tip. Maybe he was on Whitebeard's. I don't know. So maybe something screwed with the timeline there a little bit. It might be a translation thing. It might not be Oda. It might be a translation. But either way, they sail through the Grand Line. They get there. They collect all four. They got the rubbing of the thing. Kinemon, everybody calls Oden scum. Roger calls him scum. Oden's like, you can't even read the damn poneglyphs without me. Shut the hell up. And then they make it. They made it there. And when he finally got there, Roger laughed. Roger. Ha! 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 He laughed. Or in my case, I guess, if I was the One Piece laughter style, it would be grieve, 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 grieve. That would, I guess, be my laugh style, Griever, something like that. I don't know what Oda would. What? Assign me down in the comment section down below for all two of you who watch these videos. Tell me what my laughter style would be if Oda were to make it. Because he referenced here, he says, crew, we've done it. What a marvelous treasure you have left. Joy Boy, I wish that I was born in the same era as you. You have left behind such a treasure. Boys, why don't we call this island? An island that hasn't been named. It's only been named Final or Last Island in the last 800 years. Why don't we call it Laugh Tale? Because they laughed at the end of their tale. Oda, you did a damn fine job, man. You did a damn good job telling that story. You don't like this flashback. You don't like One Piece. Can't be both. Can't be a fan of One Piece, not love every portion of this flashback. I don't understand how else. I don't. Nitpick all you want. But this is solid. This is some great shit right here. And as Odin writes in his journal, we found out about all of it. The Void Century, or the Blank Century. The will of D, what it means to be a D, member of the D clan. Ancient weapons. Everything. Found it all. And all Roger did was laugh. A big, hearty, belly buster laugh. Okay. One Piece 2019, everyone. It's been a great year for One Piece. It really has. And 2020 is looking to be topping it, hitting the ground running in 2020. We are going to see some of the best One Piece we have seen in years. It's going to topple 2019, even with everything leading up in the last couple months, the last, 10, 12 chapters. We're going to see some true greatness in 2020. I think Oda planned it this way. It's hard to say what he could have planned, could not have planned. I feel like sometimes it's the editor, sometimes it's Oda, sometimes it's a combination of both. But either way, here's the 2019, ladies and gentlemen, One Piece. What do you guys think of the chapter? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Please like, subscribe, comment. As always, it's always very much appreciated. Don't forget to hit the bell notification if you guys want to know every single time I drop a video. And don't forget to hit the link down in the description box down below if you guys want to join my Discord. It's where me and a bunch of other people hang out. Great bunch of gals and guys. Mostly guys, not going to lie. So, either way, guys, like, comment, subscribe, as I already said. This has been Griever with your Behind the Bar reviews for One Piece, Chapter 967. Drink responsibly, as always. See you back here next time.